All right. Karina, thank you very much for coming here. We did have some questions about what kind of steak and making the steak. So if you could help us with that part.
Yeah, so
I know it was primarily a recipe of making the green pasta, but
yes,
I mean, myself and a couple regulars don't make beef very often, so we are not extremely knowledgeable about it.
okay.
I got breakfast steaks. They're nice and thin ones.
Oh, you got a really good one, really good cut.
So why did you pick this recipe? Yeah.
So when it comes to the meat, this dish is a fusion of Peruvian and Italian cuisine. This dish was introduced by the Italians to Peru. And you can either use, a grilled piece of steak, or you can actually use also a grilled piece of chicken breast if you want, or you can just eat by itself. So you don't have to put, the steak on top. If you're vegetarian, forget about the meat. In Peru, we do use a big piece of steak called churrasco. And it's pretty much just like steak, like grilled and fried. Most of our temperature is well done, medium well. In a regular Peruvian household, we do not have medium rare. That's not a Peruvian thing. There's no medium rare, there's no medium, maybe medium well, but most of it is well done.
And is it usually really thin or very thick, or?
Okay, I'll show you what I got. So I have my friend here from Peru. She's gonna be assisting me, and she's visiting, but she's camera shy. So she's gonna be like moving the camera around and showing what I'm working on here. Okay, yummy. Okay, let's see. I think we have to switch. Hold on, if you don't want to be in the camera, let's see.
So I'm curious to know that the cut, what part of the beef it comes from.
Okay, I'm trying to switch to, maybe not, maybe it's just gonna be like here. No, what the heck? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to change it from me to, okay, it should be this one. Yeah, got
there
it.
You go. Perfect.
Okay. So in Peru, we use, no. You're showing yourself. Yeah. Ahí vas a ver la cámara. Mira, aquí está mostrando. Muestra la carne.
Okay.
Well, that's a big one.
Carne. So, this is what I found at the supermarket. It's not exactly what we use. We use, like, if you have filet mignon, that'll be perfect. Okay. So, but you can get the shoulder, the roast, and this one was. Let me see. This one was the flat iron steak. This one is a flat iron steak. And how I'm gonna prepare is I just cut like a piece like this big. And then I just
mind we go over the ingredients real quick first to make sure we all I forgot the queso fresco. I had to run to the store.
Well, I had a hard time to get the queso fresco. It was sold out in the store, so I had to go back today again. Anyways, for the ingredients, for the steak, you just need the steak, salt, pepper, and garlic if you want garlic. That's for the steak. For the Tallarines Verdes, which is like the green spaghetti, the Peruvian style, you need the any noodles. I got the spaghetti. You can do the spaghetti. You can do.
I'm gluten-free, so I've got lentil pasta.
Yeah, whatever pasta you use, that's perfect. There's
Look at this beautiful basil from the farmer's market. Ooh,
wonderful. And the only thing that I learned from my Italian chef about spaghetti is the lighter the spaghetti color is, the higher the quality is. That's all I know. Anyways, then you need the spinach, basil, that's from my garden. You need some onions, fresh garlic, and any type of milk. This is evaporated milk, but you can use almond milk, you can use whole milk, skim, any type of milk that you use, it works. You don't need that much.
Now you are using fresh spinach. Have you ever done like canned?
if you don't have access to fresh, you can use canned, but I'm like against any type of canned stuff. I prefer like fresh, everything fresh. And this is the queso fresco. This is the last ingredient. And in Peru, we call it queso serrano, and serrano means from the highlands. So this queso, this cheese is made mostly in the Peruvian highlands because they do have a lot of cows and big lands like with cows that are like fed, grass fed. So the milk and the cheese is so delicious. That's why it's called queso serrano. And here it's just queso fresco. I got it from the Mexican aisle. It works. It's not like the same flavor, but it works for this
I was
recipe.
telling everybody beforehand how easy it is to make queso fresco. You just bring it up to milk right below before boiling, and you just add some vinegar or lemon juice in it, curds.
Yeah, my mom knows how to make the queso serrano or the queso fresco. My aunties, like all of them. I never made myself queso fresco in Peru, but you know, if they can make it, I don't. All right, so that is the cut that I had from the steak, like this steak, I don't know, but I don't cook it like this steak. I actually open this thing up. I do like very thin, so it can cook evenly, but you cook your steak the way you like. You know, if you want, you can grill it, you can bake it, you can fry it. So this for me is like one serving. This one goes, once it's ready and cooked, it goes on top of the spaghetti. And here I just let me just wash my hands. So when I start doing this dish, I start by marinating my steak, and I just put a little bit of salt. You know how much salt? I add a little bit of black pepper, and you can add fresh garlic, or where's my garlic? Okay, here it is. I have this one is garlic with sea salt, but I should have just garlic. Oh, here. I have this organic garlic powder, but I prefer this fresh garlic, like smashed paste. That's even better. But for today, I'm just gonna use the garlic, and then I kind of just tap this on the back, and then I rub it with whatever was left over, and then I just add a little bit more salt. And then I leave it there marinating, because when we're cooking, then we're gonna do the steak, and it's super fast. So I'll just leave this here marinating on the side. You can put it back in the fridge. I just leave it there. Okay.
Now, if the steak is really thick, do you ever like pound it thinner, or do you like it always?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, my daughter, where is it? Where's that tool? Let me find it. I have that hammer. What is that called?
These ones I bought from the farmer's market yesterday, I mean, they call them breakfast steaks, and they're like a 1/4 inch thick, really thin.
Okay, then let me see. Let me see what you have. That looks very thin. I don't. Oh yeah, yours is very thin. I think you're good to go.
Yep, so
what I do is sometimes because you never know with steak, some steak is super thick, you know, and it could be hard when you cook it. But sometimes what I do is I use this tool. What is this? The hammer, whatever. And I just
pound it.
Yeah, I just.
sometimes you just do that because you want and are having a bad day too. I mean.
Yeah, and this kind of softens the meat a little bit. My daughter does this all the time. There's no step skipping with doing this process. Okay, that's that. I think that would be enough.
So again,
So nice to be ahead of the game.
Hey, there you go.
so again, marinated the steak in salt, garlic, and pepper. Was that it?
Yes. Yeah, salt to taste. Black pepper. And if you have cumin, you can add a little bit that for more like a Peruvian flavor. We use a lot of that. Do I actually have?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Cumin.
How do you call it?
Cumin, but where's
Cumin. Yeah. So a little bit of that on your hair, not much, because this flavor can overpower your meat. I don't think it's dry. Okay.
Yeah, that's cilantro. So that's Also,
just
some people,
very little because this is very strong. It can overpower the flavor. You don't want that much. Yeah, let it rest there. Okay, so what we
I probably
this
should get a pot of water going for my pasta.
yeah, okay. The pasta is the last thing that I actually make because this dish is served like nice and warm. So you don't want the pasta to dry. So you want to have your green sauce ready, your steak ready, and then you work on the pasta, and then you just pull the pasta, and then you do the mix it with the sauce, and then you serve it. So you don't want your pasta sitting by itself while you're working on your sauce. So we kind of start marinating the steak, and now we're gonna work on the salsa verde. Because once your water is boiling, it only takes what, 12 minutes? I don't know how many minutes you cook. This one, where is some of them is 12.
Yeah, like 8 to 12 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, this one, I always suggest everybody to read the package and find the cooking time. This one, mine says 12 to 15 minutes. I like 12. My daughter doesn't like al dente. She doesn't like it. So I had to do probably 14 or more. But 12.
So is that spaghetti?
Yes, this one is from the local supermarket called Kroger's. And this is from the private selection, the Italian spaghetti. Yeah, so
I just saw internet hack, and it said if you have small garlics, you cut it this way, and then you can get the garlic out really easy. If it's a big garlic, you can't cut the stem. Oh, where's my camera? There it is. So
my garlic, I just get my
garlic is this way, but if I turn it sideways, well, and then I cut it, and then you can just get these heads out really easy. But that only works if the stem itself is
yeah,
smaller.
that sounds good. Yeah, with garlic, I have my little garlic house here. Actually, I have my garlic house. I keep my garlic here, and I don't open the whole garlic because the garlic can go bad. So depending how many pieces I'm gonna use, I just get them individually. And what I do is, what is it, that garlic smasher? I just press it like with the peel and everything, and it just helps me peel that garlic really fast. I don't have to be fighting, see? And I just smash it, not too much, just until you hear the crack of the garlic, and then it's ready to peel. You don't have to fight the garlic. And then you have individual pieces. And the remaining goes to my little garlic house right there until I use it next time. For this one, I think we're gonna do 3, or you can do 2 if you don't like too much garlic. But I like garlic, so I wanna do 3. What is that called? Tooth or teeth or pieces? Garlic
No,
what?
Cloves.
Cloves.
of
Okay.
garlic.
Garlic cloves. Okay.
Yeah, teeth is better because it's interesting. It's called a garlic head, so you'd think each one was called a teeth.
Yeah, because in Peru we say diente de ajo, which means diente is translated into well, diente one into tooth and dientes into teeth. So I was wondering.
Makes more sense actually.
Yeah. All right.
A head of garlic and a tooth of garlic. Yeah.
Okay, is everybody following? How are you doing? Is your steak ready?
My steak's marinating, yes.
Perfect. Okay, now we're gonna start with the salsa. But let's do the water. We're gonna start boiling. Not boiling, but reheating the water for the spaghetti. So 1 second.
All right. So I got.
So just for fun, in German, they're called toes of garlic.
That's good. I like that. You got the head and the feet, the toes.
Oh, Fred, I finally bought a new pan. There it is. It's almost the same size as my old pan, but
Nice.
So I started my water for my spaghetti. It's just warming up there. And
I always forget that. Yeah, it's very important to preheat your pan.
Yeah, that's the water. The water is reheating. Hopefully it's gonna be boiling by the time we're done with the salsa. Okay, now I'm like just mincing my garlic, and you don't have to get like a paste for this. this, what's that? This garlic smasher that I have is not like the best, but it works. I just kind of dice it up a little bit because this is gonna be blended. So I just want most of the flavor out from the garlic when I
You
pick
don't
it
have
up.
to chop it really good because it's gonna get blended.
Right. So I only want the flavor out from the garlic, and you can just chop it, you know, small enough so you can get the flavor out when we are gonna brown it with onions. So we have the garlic ready to go. And then we are gonna use the onions. I have some leftover onions, so I'm gonna use that. You need like half an onion should be good. I have 2/4, so I'm gonna use those 2/4. And I just dice it up. So dice up your onions. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be big or small. It's gonna be also blended. So don't worry too much about perfection here because you won't even see the onions once it's cooked.
Now, are we going to blend it raw or are we gonna cook it?
We're gonna brown it. Well, I'll show you. I'm gonna brown a little bit.
I was just wondering if I could put this in the fry pan now.
No, because we're gonna have a process. First, we're gonna go the onions. When it's a little bit brown, we're gonna add the garlic because the garlic gets burned so fast. So we don't want the garlic first. So once, if your onions are ready, add a little bit more.
All right. Oop. So we're cutting up a couple big onions. Yeah.
All right, and then you can use a frying pan or a little pot for this mixture of the greens. I want to use this because my frying pan is not too deep. You need some deepness for your for this part of your greens and onions and all that stuff. So this one works for me. So we're gonna start reheating the pot a little bit. You can use avocado oil, you can use olive oil, vegetable oil. In Peru, we use most of our oil is vegetable oil, like all the time. I learned more about olive oil, avocado oil, and the other oils when I moved to the US. But I use my avocado oil like this, and we're gonna do like 2 tablespoons should be enough. Just gonna do 2 tablespoons of oil. Oh shoot, that's more than 1.5. You wanna come closer, Yanni?
I almost always forget to preheat the oil, and I'll be like, or preheat the pan.
Yeah, so
I always like put the oil in, then put the onions in, and I'm like, oh, it's not frying. Well, that's because I didn't heat it up.
okay. Yeah, so my oil is warming up there. I have my onions already diced up, and I have my garlic ready. And see, I always try just add a little bit. If it doesn't sizzle, so it's not ready. It's sizzling. Okay, I'm gonna add the remaining of my oil. I mean, my onions. Okay.
So add the onions in.
Onions only for now. Okay, onions only. And we're gonna save the garlic for a little bit later when the onions are a little bit like brownish. Then we're gonna add the garlic. So right here, you're gonna add more black pepper. So add black, what will be like a little teaspoon, maybe less than half a teaspoon of black pepper. You don't need to add the cumin if you don't have cumin, but I add a little bit of cumin, a little bit. So I need to see here.
Does it matter if you use ground cumin or whole cumin?
This is ground. Ground is perfect.
I like whole myself, but
Okay, yeah. I'm adding like this much. You know, I don't know if you see on the spoon. I'm adding here so I can see how much I'm adding, because my cumin bottle is kind of old already. I need to buy a new one, and it's kind of dry out. And then you add, what else? Salt to taste. A little bit here. You can calculate that afterwards. And you see that your onions are a little bit yellowish. When it kind of becomes kind of crystal, you see that the red onions or any onions you use is kind of changing the color a little bit more.
Did you say you used red onions?
Yeah, you can use. In Peru we use red onions, but
Man,
you
I
can
had
use.
these beautiful red onions I got at the farmer's market, and I missed out. I didn't hear you, so.
And you can use any onions, white onions, sweet onions. It works. Any of them work. But for a Peruvian taste, it's preferred the red onions. Okay, so we have that. And now it's good enough for me to add my garlic, because the onion is already ahead of time when it comes to cooking and won't burn. Now I add my garlic.
Now, do you tend to have, like, in the US, we tend to think of South America as spicy food.
Right, like spicy hot or spicy what?
Spicy hot.
Yeah.
But this dish doesn't really have any spice.
Well, this not the pasta itself, not the sauce itself, but it's served with papa la huancaína, which is a spicy dip. I'm actually going to do a little bit of that if there's time, but you can add the sauce on the side.
What you said. All right. As
Okay.
usual, my kitchen smells yummy. Party time.
And just keep moving there, move your garlic and onions. So now my garlic is nice and brown, so that's perfect. Then reduce your heat to very low now, from medium to low. I'm sorry, I should have said that before. From medium to low. And we're gonna start with the spinach. So I have here like let's just, I think it's 1 cup.
Well, see, the spinach, you probably have to rinse it.
Yeah, mine is already clean. But you wash it, whatever. So I added like 1 cup and a half of spinach. The spinach is the one that's gonna give the most of the color. So you want a little bit more of the spinach than the basil.
You said you've never made this with canned spinach.
With what?
Have you ever made this not with fresh spinach, like frozen or canned?
I only use fresh, but
I was just wondering.
I don't know if you can use canned. I don't know if the flavor is the same. Frozen, I never used frozen, but I think frozen, I guess it still keeps the spinach flavor. So I think frozen should be good. Canned, I don't know. I don't use much of canned items. All right, so you know the spinach is already like shrinking already, so that's perfect. And then you add a little bit of your basil. Not everything. I have like here the basil here, but I only add a little bit of that, like a quarter of
So
the
how
amount.
how many leaves do you think of basil?
Oh, mine are very tiny leaves from my garden. So depending how big your basils are, I think I put like 20 in there or 15. You just need that much.
Yeah, mine is small leaves too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the remaining, we're gonna save it like that, fresh, to blend it. That's it. So now you have your green stuff ready to be blended. You only want this to look like this, you know, it's not like burnt. It's more like.
How did
um,
yours cook so fast? Mine, like, I feel like, am I cooking too much?
Let me see what you.
I mean, I just put this, like, I felt like
If-
the onions took a lot longer to cook.
Well, the thing is, well, start moving. Start moving your spinach. Get your what is this called? The utensil, and then just start moving, and it's gonna air up, and it's gonna shrink faster. It looks like your container is too small. What are you using? Your frying pan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so this is ready to be blended. I'm gonna-
Everybody thinks my container is too small.
I didn't say that, or I didn't say that this time, or.
This time.
Well, and the other
But
thing,
I always do too much. That's part of it.
You can't make 5 pounds of anything in that skillet.
It's just like,
and the other thing is that my stove is super powerful. Like it warms up like really nice. Maybe that also has to do with how fast I can cook things here. Wait, I'm gonna get the blender.
it's starting to cook down now. It was just a little behind you.
Okay, so yeah, you can come here. All right, so now,
Put a lid on it, or if you want it to steam up a little quickly.
yep, that's a great piece of advice. Put a lid on.
All right. Next thing we're gonna do is blend it, right? So get my blender.
Yeah.
out.
Put everything on your blender now, on your prep. Sometimes I let it sit for a little bit, so I don't want it to be too hot, but I think it's gonna be fine with everything that we're gonna mix.
Wow.
I want every piece in the blender, like even the garlic, the onions, everything. I want everything in the blender. Okay. And leave that container, don't wash it, just leave it like that because we wanna reuse it to put the salsa, the sauce back. Okay, once you have this part of spinach and all the onions, add the remaining basil. So the fresh basil, just add it in there. All the basil. I love the smell of fresh basil. Oh my gosh.
I actually did a survey once of a bouquet of flowers and a bouquet of basil, and I said, which one do you prefer? And everybody said the basil.
Basil, yeah. I make sure to have fresh basil in my house. Even, we start planting it like in March. And we bring it inside for the winter, and it goes back outside again for spring and summer. But basil, this dish is one of my daughter's favorite dish. So I always like to have fresh basil. When she asks me to cook her favorite dish, I'm ready to go. Okay, how is everybody going?
Not quite with you yet, but I will be with you soon.
Okay, I'll wait. Let me clean it here a little bit.
Getting all my stuff in the blender here. Do we have to add any moisture to it, or just this is good enough?
Yeah, we're gonna add the cheese. No water, no moisture. That's it. We're gonna add a little bit of milk. Any
yeah.
milk you have, whole milk, almond milk.
Can I use heavy cream? Is that okay?
Yes, you can. Yeah, yes, you can.
I have a container open that's probably gonna go bad. I thought I'd be making whipped cream, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah, use the heavy cream. It's gonna give texture. Are you using the queso fresco or no?
Yeah, I have
Okay,
queso.
perfect.
I actually have it.
It's gonna make it really creamy. It's gonna be really good. In Peru, we use mostly evaporated milk. We don't have that much heavy cream there, so that's
All
what-
the cows? What?
yeah, because it's more. We actually have fresh, really fresh milk more than processed milk or the heavy milk, whatever. But our regular recipes don't take that much heavy cream. Okay, my spaghetti water is almost boiling. And I'm gonna take, let's see, let's look at this. Probably quarter to half of my cheese, one side smaller, but I think I wanna do this much. Okay, and then much. So I'm gonna have 1/4 and then this piece, I don't know what it is, both of them, that I'm gonna just shred it in here. So in the container to be blended.
Oh, you add it to the,
Yes, you add it here in the mixture.
you add this cheese.
So you're half of it. How much? Let me see.
She said
It's
what?
you do half and then do another quarter. So I have 1/4 and then a little piece here. You can do 1/4 if you don't want too much cheese in it. So 1/4 should be fine. All right, and then I'm gonna open my milk.
And make sure you take a taste of the cheese while you're at it. I'm
Oh, I already did.
a
Oh,
requirement.
yeah. Oh, good, so good.
Mhm. All right.
Okay, so I just cut my finger. Okay, I'm gonna add, let's see, this is a half cup. Half cup. Okay, half cup should be more than enough. I didn't even complete the half cup, but that should be half cup.
How thick are you trying to make it? Like pretty thick, no?
Well, we're gonna use some of the spaghetti water to even up the sauce. We don't want it too thick. We don't want it like,
I mean, this is pretty creamy already.
yeah. Okay, so we'll see.
How we save a little spaghetti water when you're making spaghetti?
Always.
Spaghetti. All right, I want to start blending it. Let's see.
I love this big blender. It just knocks things out so well.
So many things here on my counter. Okay,
All right.
we'll see. If it doesn't blend that fast, I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Okay, now let's see, blend.
The Zoom auto mute function is really wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, mute me, sorry. Let's see.
Let's see. I could almost eat I could eat this just as a green soup.
Yeah.
It's like a, what do they call it?
So when you blend it, if you see pieces of onions like floating there, keep blending because the onion should disappear as much as you can. I still see like little pieces of onion there, so I'll keep blending. Okay. So we have the sauce already on the show. Looks like this. And I want to just leave it here for a little bit and see how the pasta water is going. It's still getting ready. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna reuse the same pot where we started the spinach, all the sauce, and we're gonna put it in there.
Are you gonna try to reduce it down, or you just?
So I'm running my blender. Hold on just 2 seconds. I
Okay.
can't, if you're moving on, I'm gonna miss everything you say. So 1 second.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Just let me know when you're ready. Okay, come back. Sauce everywhere.
See. So how often do you make this, Karina? Is it something? you
Very
make-
often, very often.
Yeah. How do you get enough basil to, like,
I have my little plants outside.
Yeah.
I buy them from Lowe's and I just grow them and I use them, and they have big, some of them have big leaves. But I have at least 2 little plants that gives me enough enough leaves for the Tallarines Verdes.
All right, I'm with you.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna do like 2 things. Actually, sometimes I do 3 things at once. Okay, Yanni, come here. So at this point, this is what's happening. At this point, I have my spaghetti water about to boil, and I'm just gonna add salt. Where's my salt? I don't know how you cook your noodles, cook the way you like it, but I add salt. This is give so little salt, but and then I add a little bit of oil. This is like a Peruvian thing that my mom taught me, my grandma taught me. So I know a lot of people don't put oil. I just add a little bit of oil. And then so we're gonna have that water going on there. I'm gonna have my other container here where I started the spinach and the onions and the basil. And then I'm gonna have my frying pan here for the steak. This is my favorite frying pan. It's like it has like a grill, like the grill stripes here, and it cooks my steak so fast and super delicious. I just leave this warming up here. It needs to be really, really hot. I add a little bit of avocado oil or olive oil, and that's where I'm gonna prepare the steak. So this now starts warming up. My water's almost ready, and we're gonna start here the salsa. You're gonna pour all your mixture of the blender there.
Now, which pot is that? Is that the pot you originally cooked it in?
That's right. Because it still has the oil and all that stuff. So you don't, if you want, you can add a little bit more oil, but I don't add more oil. It's already like oily. So it's more than enough. And then in a little bit, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to wash the blender with the water, with the spaghetti water. So we get all the mixture, all the sauce in here. And now this one, just put it on low heat for now. Very low heat. It's gonna start warming up slowly. And you're gonna start smelling all the delicious mixture of the spinach and the basil and the onions. So this looks like this now. Just leave it there in low heat like that. And we're gonna start our spaghetti. Cook your spaghetti the way you want.
give us some tricks on how to cook the steak?
What is it? Oh, that you have tricks, or you want me to share tricks?
Yeah, share some tricks.
Well, for my steak, so come here. My frying pan is warming up. It needs to be really hot.
Okay.
It's a medium. Right now I have medium heat. I should probably put it high. There you go. Oh, it's actually turned it off. Okay, so, yeah, this is high right there. And then I put a little bit of avocado oil in the area where my meat is gonna go, just in the middle. I think right above where your flame is like hitting, like right on top, that's where you put the oil. And that's where you're gonna put your meat too. And I leave it like about 5 minutes for each side and it's good. Or sometimes less, depending. I just see it if it's brown enough, I don't want to burn it, and then I just flip it. Okay, so I have my water ready for my spaghetti, and you can put the whole thing, but I like to do it in two. I like to cut it in 2 pieces. I'm using.
Cut the spaghetti in half, you mean?
I'm gonna break it in 2 parts here. I'm actually, once it's like this, you can just put the whole thing there, cook the way you cook your spaghetti, but I do it like this, 2 parts, so it doesn't get crazy in my plate and I'm fighting with my spaghetti. 2 parts, I break it in 2. Because I think yeah, this last one. I'm using more than half of that package, which is grams is in here. Let's see. This one is 454 grams of spaghetti. So this is 16 ounces.
1 pound.
Yeah, 16 ounces, 1 pound. Yeah. And I use almost all of it. I don't. You can use, if you don't want it, you can use the whole thing, but I'm gonna save it a little bit. And then I have my spaghetti. And then I just move it around, make sure it doesn't stick. And that's what my mom and my grandma told me. The oil kind of helps a little bit and it doesn't get stuck everywhere. But Italian people say like never use oil. So I don't know. This is just my way. Okay. All right, so we have the spaghetti boiling there. And I need the lid.
Sí.
Okay, I'm just close this here.
Now, have you ever made this green sauce without cooking it?
Without cooking it, no, because you need the, now you need the spinach, the basil to cook. You don't want it fresh floating on your spaghetti.
Okay.
A little bit like cooked, a little bit cooked. So now I have this.
I always try to think of shortcuts, and usually they're not any good.
No, it's gonna be worth it because the flavor, all the flavor gets together, and when it starts cooking, the mixture is just perfect. Now what I'm gonna do here is the one, I'm gonna just switch here because this one is stronger than the other one, so I'm gonna just move around. So now because the pasta is being cooked, the spaghetti is being cooked, you just want to kind of cook both of them at the same time, so both of them are ready at the same time to mix it. And I'm gonna set my timer. I think 1 minute went by. I'm gonna put 12 minutes. The instruction on the spaghetti bag said that 12 to 14 minutes. I'm doing 12 minutes. That should be good. Meanwhile, I still have here my steak grilling pan, like my little frying pan. It's warming up. And I'm just gonna make sure to check this. Okay. All right. And then here is, you can see already my sauce boiling a little bit. And here's when you taste for salt. So here, check if salt is good for you. Just adjust it to your taste, because this is what's gonna even up the salt for the whole spaghetti. In Peru, we don't do much sweet spaghetti. It's more like a little bit salty. So I make sure that, yeah, maybe a little bit more. Make sure that it's not sweet or unsalted. You gotta have some like enough salt. Okay. All right, so I have my spaghetti boiling here, and what I learned is that so this is my blender, and I still have a lot of spinach going on here. I just get like 1 cup of the spaghetti water, and then I just wash it. I'm gonna shake my blender, so I'm gonna over it again. Let's see. Oh, this way. And I'm just gonna shake it and try to get all the leftover goodie from the inside. Just wash it.
I like that. I like not wasting things.
Yeah, because we're gonna need more water here. It's becoming already kind of thick. You don't want it to be too thick. So you just pour all that water in there. That's ready for it. Now it's nice and juicy. And that's kind of my microwave sauce is up. So now, if your sauce is becoming thick, you fix it with some more water from the spaghetti, and you can make it juicy. Okay, so I have my spaghetti boiling already, 4 minutes boiling. I have my sauce at super low heat. My spinach and basil sauce, it's in super low heat, like very little flame, not much, like super low. And I have my steak frying pan still warming up. I want it to be super warm. Okay, my steak frying pan it's warming up. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil in the middle. Like just in the middle right there. It's moving everywhere, but and I'm ready to put my steak. And then I just put it right there. You can hear the sizzling right away. That's why it's important. It should be really hot, really warm. And I'm just gonna let it sit there for a few minutes. So I have my steak here being fried. I have my noodles being cooked, and I have my sauce almost ready. Since it's on low heat, it's fine. This is on more than medium heat for my spaghetti. This is on super high heat, high, medium, and super low. And it's just gonna be cooking all together at the same time.
All right. Have you ever cooked the spaghetti right in the green sauce?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever cooked the pasta right in the green sauce, like made it?
No. Never. It gotta be cooked separate. And then depending on your heat, if it's low, high, if your stove is slow or fast, I check how my steak looks from this side. So how it's looking is kind of brownish. So I still think that it can be cooked a little bit longer. So I just leave it for 1 more minute there.
And do you serve this with anything normally, like a certain drink or a preferred dessert or anything, or just whatever people want?
What's that?
Do you serve this with a preferred dessert or a preferred drink, or does it
Well,
matter?
Yeah, we have you can do wine, you can do red wine, I guess. What's the pasta? Red wine is for meats. Yeah, red wine. We can do red wine. But in Peru, we have Inca Cola. I'll show you Inca Cola. The last one. This is gold for me. This is a Peruvian soda called Inca Cola. And we're addicted to this drink all over the country. And it's so sad because it has so much sugar. But everybody drinks it now. I just drink it once in a while. So this is my last can here standing in my house. But I'll see. I share it with my daughter, so I don't drink the whole can alone. Okay, my steak is good on one side. I think it's been like 3 minutes. It's good on one side. And then I already flipped it, so I just leave it there. If this would have a lid, I would definitely cover it, but this frying pan doesn't have a lid, so I just sometimes I use like a small lid and I just cover just the steak like that. And it works too. I don't have a dedicated lid for this one. That works. My green pasta sauce is already here. Oh, it smells so good. My sauce is ready, so I don't want it to dry up, so I'm gonna turn off my stove here in this one off. You can actually move it to the side and just let it sit there. If for any reason it kind of becomes super dry, it's not juicy, you just add a little bit more of the spaghetti water and adjust salt, and you're good. 2 more minutes and my spaghetti is gonna be ready. And my steak is gonna be ready in 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes. Right here. Looking good, not sticky, it's perfect. Okay, I have, since we have the queso fresco leftover, and we have some of the onions leftover, and we have some of the garlic leftover, I'm gonna teach you, and we also have some of the milk leftover. I'm gonna teach you how to prepare a Peruvian sauce. It's a dip. It's a spicy dip called papa a la huancaína, and it's made using this special pepper called ají amarillo, like this, ají amarillo. Amarillo means yellow, ají is pepper, but it's not yellow, it's actually orange, so don't ask me, it's okay. But I really struggle to get this pepper here. One of my friends found it in Chicago and she bought this back for me. I only have like 3 left now. One is being defrosted. But you need one of these yellow pepper, which is orange, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of milk, and the onions, and a little bit of garlic, and crackers. And we're gonna do something similar to what we did with the green sauce. We're gonna brown it a little bit, and you're gonna blend it, and it's good to go. You don't need to cook it more. You just serve it on top of the spaghetti. So you guys, while you guys are finishing up what you're doing, I'm gonna do the sauce. If you don't find this, you can replace with, and I did that, worked with an orange bell pepper. So fresh bell pepper and a jalapeno. So the bell pepper for the color and the jalapeno for the spice. So you just mix those 2 peppers. The flavor is different, but it works. Okay, so I'm gonna start working on that. I need more onion. Oops, my spaghetti is ready, so let me take care of that first. Really? What you doing here recently with my dog? Just in case, I'm going to separate a little bit of my spaghetti water before I dump it, just in case. Half a cup. I may not need it, I may need it. I'm going to separate it just in case. Just rinse my spaghetti.
I made mine look fancy.
How's everybody doing?
I'm getting hungry. Let's see. I, of course, am making a lot more because I'm making a big batch to give away too. So. This green sauce is amazing. Yum, 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 yum. So Karina, what are we working on now?
Okay, have the spaghetti ready when I'm done here. Is your spaghetti ready?
Yep.
Okay. So now, come off of this. We're gonna pour all this, the green sauce on top of the spaghetti. All of it. Mine is still juicy, so it's fine. I didn't need the extra spaghetti water. And then we are going to mix it. So this pasta needs to be green everywhere. There shouldn't be any spaghetti, any noodle that's not green. It has to be covered with the pasta. I mean, with the sauce everywhere. So mix it until you see that all your noodles, your spaghetti noodles are juicy and covered with the sauce. Looks good to me. Don't like go too crazy because you're gonna end up smashing all your noodles. That looks good to me. It's very even. And if you want, if you want this to be a little bit greener, like we do in Peru, you add just less cheese and less milk, and it should be greener. But I kind of like this. I kind of like a little bit creamy, so that's why I added that much cheese and milk. And okay, so now my steak is here. You can see. Covered it so it can cook faster, but I think it's good to go. How's your steak doing? See, mine looks good. For me, this is already probably well done. Depending how you like your steak, you can cook it medium rare, medium, whatever you want. But mine is already like probably well done or medium well. And from here, serve. That's it. Okay. From here, you just serve your spaghetti, your tallarín verde. You don't wait, and it's just like pretty much from the pot to your table, ready to eat. And then you put your steak in. There you go. This is how it looks. And I'm gonna prepare the sauce quickly. It doesn't take that long, it's super fast. Right now it's like perfect. It's boiling, it's hot.
Mm-hmm. We all ready to cook. Cook it into our belly.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna prepare the other sauce that I was telling you about.
I put regular spaghetti on there, but I won't eat that. I'll eat this.
You have to
lentil
mix.
gluten-free
You have
pasta.
to mix it, or you need to mix the salsa. We never serve the salsa. Yeah, the way you do it, that's perfect.
Okay,
Yeah, we never serve the pasta.
like that. No,
No, never, ever. That's anti-Peruvian pasta.
got it.
Yeah, it gotta be mixed. Like the spaghetti has to be covered with the green sauce. I really like the color of your pasta, so you did great.
Well, that was just for the picture. So there we go. Mix it up. But yeah, I made 5 pounds of spaghetti also. So I'm making.
Nice. Okay, so here I'm preparing the sauce that I told you. That's gonna go on top. Just 2 pieces of onion and just 1 clove of garlic.
I took a little creative license, put a little bit of extra cheese and sauce on top of my steak. And I have a little garnishment of a couple
Yes.
of little bay leaf blossom.
Yes, you
Share
add.
a picture, Lulu.
I
You
did.
want,
You always manage to make it look pretty. So
right,
Okay.
you want queso? Yeah, put the queso on top for sure.
And I put a little extra sauce. I'm not making that sauce with you, so I just threw a little bit of the pesto on top.
You can actually save, if it's only for 1 person, you can save the sauce and then just reuse it later. Just get fresh pasta and the sauce is ready to go. I'm gonna do.
yeah, I'm so used to pesto. So this right here is, has a different taste to it, and I like it.
Different.
Like the green sauce, I would almost just make the green sauce as what is that when you go to a fancy restaurant where they put cream in the soup? What do they call that?
Basil soup? I don't know.
No, I can't think.
Cream of spinach.
This is my peanut gallery to help me here.
Cream of spinach soup.
It's like a French soup where they basically add heavy cream to it to make it rich. Anyway, I really like that. I'm making more sauce for my 5 pounds of Here's my milk.
My beef tastes good, but it's fighting back.
What's
Wow.
that?
And my pasta needed a lot more sauce. My sauce need or salt. But
Wow, she's already eating. Who's her? There you go. Who's that lady? Let's see.
So Karina, you want to say the sauce you're making now again?
Yes, so this is red onions, garlic, and this is the pepper. Peruvian pepper called ají amarillo, although it's
Yeah.
orange. But you can replace this pepper with some bell pepper, orange color, and then jalapeno for the spice. This one, I use even the seeds, so you can see the seeds. And it's just like, I'm just like browning it a little bit, just to get all the flavors together. And then I'm gonna blend it with the queso fresco, with the milk and crackers to make it creamy. It's so good, so good. So,
crackers like saltines.
the clap, I use the clap crackers, saltines, yeah. I'll show you. Yanni, hold this for me. My kitchen is a mess. Oh boy.
Mine is too.
I use this one. I use these crackers, the clap crackers
Okay.
with the reduced fat.
Butter crackers.
Yes. You don't want a cracker that has like herbs or sweetness on it. That's gonna change the flavor. Gotta be salty. Yeah, just do this.
So does it get heated or is the milk and the crackers and the cheese just?
No, oh, the only thing that you're gonna heat is this one. The onions, the garlic, the peppers, and then you add a little bit of salt. And because this pepper is frozen, so it kind of loses its color when you blend it. So what I do is I actually add a little bit of paprika. In Peru, we call it palillo. It's called palillo, which I mean, it's not paprika, it's turmeric. Turmeric. In Peru, it's called palillo, but here it's called turmeric, and which is good for you, right? Turmeric is really good for your health. So I just add a little bit for the color. And then blend it a little bit, mix it, and it's gonna be ready to blend it. And I have a smaller cup for that. I don't have my big, like I have my smaller cup.
All right. I'm ignoring you. I'm eating.
Yeah, good. Almost enjoy.
Just like.
That dish is so easy to prepare. I think you just think to take more time cutting the onion. So I have here all ready to blend. And what I do is I add the queso fresco. So I'm gonna add the main piece, and I'm gonna add, let's see.
Now, given your choice, you would get that pepper fresh.
You can find it in the international markets in some places. We only have one international market here and they don't have it, but my friend found it in the international market in Chicago. So she brought it from there.
And she froze it to keep it fresh.
Yeah, it always comes frozen, so I keep it in the freezer all the time. So I got the fresh queso fresco, the mixture of the pepper, and then add the crackers there. Let's see. I think I'm gonna add like 5 pieces. Just put it in there. Lily, my dog. Everything that falls on the floor is hers. And I add my milk. So just probably cover half. What is that? Maybe half cup. It doesn't have to go all the way up. You want it creamy like that. That should be good. And you can add a little bit of oil too. You can add a little bit of vegetable oil or avocado or olive oil. I want to add a little bit of avocado. There you go, just for flavor. And this is ready to go in the blender. Okay. Okay. All right, then. Usually when I prepare this dish, this is the first thing I prepare, and then I put it in the fridge. And then I do everything else, the pasta and the steak and the green sauce. So by the time that's served and ready, I have this ready to go in the fridge. But this is like a bonus that I wanted to show you how I make it. And you can make it with bell pepper and the jalapeno and the onions and, you know, all the ingredients that I showed you. Just make sure that the either the bell pepper or the pepper, it's all blended. You don't want to see big chunk pieces of the pepper or the onion, so keep blending until it's like sauce. Okay, it's ready. So I'm gonna pour some of this on top of my pasta. Here it is.
So Karina, can you make sure you take a picture of the final plate and share with us?
Sure, so let me.
Yep. And does anybody have any final questions? Because
There
I've
you
been
go.
trying to sit down and eat. Oh,
Okay,
Lulu's
so
already.
I just add a
How
little bit.
Lulu beat me to eating. This never happens.
You are correct.
So
I do have
Karina
one.
said she has that in the fridge ready. Does she heat it up again and then pour it over the sauce?
No, I think it's cool. Room temperature.
Let's see.
Yes, the sauce, I usually prepare it first before I start doing the pasta and steak, and I keep it in the fridge. But it was a bonus for you guys, so I showed you how I made this sauce. And that's, there you go, the Tallarines Verdes, the steak, and you can do chicken, you can do fish, you can put whatever meat, or you don't need to put meat also. And then the papa la huancaína, which is the spicy sauce, and it's very spicy. I had a little bit.
When you
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah. So
you are putting that cold sauce next to your warm spaghetti.
Mhm. Yeah, you can put it on top according to whatever you like. It's like just a mixture of the cold sauce and the warm. It's perfect. You can put it on the side, on top of the meat. I just put it on the side.
We
Like
lost
that.
your
Hold on.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank
you
you very
hear
much,
me?
everybody. Any final questions? Of course, after we wrap up, stick around and eat and socialize as we usually do.
I have one more
And
question.
go for it.
Can you put the ingredients for that sauce that you just made somewhere where we have access to it, either on the thread of the Facebook?
Yeah.
Yep.
I-
When you share the picture, you share the ingredients too.
Okay.
Yep. And so-
Yeah, especially the name of the sauce, would you know.
Oh, the name of the sauce. Yeah.
for
Papa
sure.
la huancaína, Papa la huancaína. You can actually, you know, Peruvians are so big on carbs. You can actually put 2 pieces of cooked potato here on the side, and then you put the Papa la huancaína sauce.
But when
and-
you say potato, there's like 3,000 types of potato. So what?
But in the US, I like the golden potato. That's my favorite because it's soft and creamy.
Yeah.
I think I buy the golden potato 100% of the time. The red potato is okay, but it's more like watery. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm used to like
'Cause I
variety.
remember we cooked something in the past and I had a hard time finding the specific potato because there is so many types of Peruvian potatoes. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Any final questions? Karina, any final words? We'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias.
Yeah, no, nothing. I think just enjoy, and I'm sorry for the delay. And thank you